Right, so I've arrived out where I want to be for campfire today. I have brought tea with me today, so that's good. I'm going to get set up. The most important thing, make sure you have water. You cannot have a campfire without water, so that is a half a bucket of water there. We also have another bucket of water here. So it's pretty good. It's 3/4 full, so I've got 4 or 5. I've got 6 gallons of water with me today. So, as I've said many times in my videos before you light a fire, know how you're going to put that fire out. Make sure you have enough water with you. And once you light it, it's your fire, your responsibility. So it's going to be a short fire today because I have a feeling, looking at the big clouds over that way, we're going to get some rain today. So, with that in mind, and the bugs, because I haven't got the fire going yet, I will put a little bit of buggy juice on. They don't tend to like this stuff. It's actually really good. They don't do it in this shape pump bottle anymore. I don't know why. I wish they did, because it actually fits in my pack properly. As always, I have my trusty Silky with me. I'm just going to cut up some small stuff and I can get the fire going. Right, I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, so I need to get a little fire going here because the bugs are getting quite, what's that? So as always, like I just said, your fire, your responsibility, you make sure everything's safe. So I've set this up here. I've put a whole bunch of small little bits here, a couple of logs. I'm not building much of a base because there's quite a lot of carbon and that still in here from previous fires, and as anybody knows, I'm a great fan of cotton balls, so let's just fluff that up a bit, place that in there somewhere. Now, in terms of fire lighting kit, I always have a big lighter with me, always. Now I could just set fire to that, that'd be easy, or I have my ferro rods. If I can get a spark to land on the cotton there, we should be good. Yeah, all the way. As always, secure all your tools before doing anything else. Make sure you know where they are. Feed a few pieces in on here. Once I get some smoke going, I can get rid of it. The reason I'm kind of hurrying is to get some smoke going. There we go, that should be good. Right. Always make sure you put your kit away. I see people coming out and doing stuff and they'll have stuff spread all over the blooming show, which is great, but then if you have to move fast for any particular reason, you now can't. So let's let that get going. Right, and that is it. It is literally that simple. But like I say, once you light a fire, it is your fire, your responsibility. As you can see how much that flares up. See, over there, flares up a lot. Yeah. So, it is a little windy today, so I've only come out to do a short campfire. I do have some food with me. I did remember my tea. Yeah. Essentials: tea, food, Now, I've mentioned in the past, always have many different ways of lighting a fire. So I have that fire kit, I've got a fire kit in there, I have a fire kit on here. I like to put bright stuff on tools and stuff. This one's got a good edge. This is one of those BPS Adventurer knives. I did a review on this a little while ago. And, love this thing. Very handy, in fact. It's got a pretty nice fire steel with it too. Yeah. So what I did is I took one of those, you know, the elastics that ladies put in their hair. I put one of those on the back of here, start twisting it, pop that over there. That just makes sure that that can not fall out of there. So that's good. Because we are in bear and cougar country, I do have bear spray with me. I do have sparks falling on me already. You'll notice that this sweatshirt is full of holes, and so are these trousers. And it's unfortunately that's one of the things with campfires. You do end up with holes in things. So this is my holy. This is what I call my religious sweatshirt. It's very holy. Yes. Right, as you can see, I'm not going crazy with the fire today. Normally I would have 3 or 4 logs in the bottom and then some logs crisscrossed on the top like this, just to build a good base. This is just going to be a short campfire. I can see the cloud over the mountains over there already, and midday we are supposed to get torrential rain, which is another reason that I've come out today to do a campfire, because I know that overnight tonight we're going to get torrential rain, so not too worried. Some people like great big raging fires. I don't. A fire should always be under control. Some people like, you know, because it looks good in the videos. People like to make bushcraft videos, and they like to have great big flames like this and a big pyramid fire because it looks good. But in reality, that's not what you want. Yeah. A big pyramid fire like that uses a lot of wood, and it's you that's got to cut it. So I do have some of my stash. These logs I took off here are off my stash over there, so I've started using a few pieces of those. That's starting to get some heat in there now. And all I'm doing, a lot of the low hanging ladder fuel, as I call it, on the bottom of the trees, I trim that off. It does 2 good things. It clears out my campsite, gives me better lines of sight around the campsite, and also it reduces fire risk. So should a spark or whatever get into something, it makes it much harder for it to climb the trees. So, yeah. There we go. Make a bit of smoke, get rid of the mosquitoes. I will bring my bear spray over here a little closer. That will stay on there or not. It might. If it does, all good. I do have a spare one in my backpack, so I have 2 bear sprays on me at the moment. And I have a sausage roll. The bugs are leaving already. There was lots of mosquitoes when I arrived. Now there isn't. That's the other reason why I have a slow fire going. Then I can just put some bits on it, make it smoke every now and again, and it keeps the bugs down. I did forget my toasting fork. But either way, so that's why I like these, because I can have these hot or cold, it doesn't matter. It's good food, keeps you going. Yeah. The cloud is fairly high and moving pretty slow, so that's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing. do this. That this is not to make fantastic bushcraft videos and whittling grabbing 2 sticks and a knife and whittling a log cabin out of 2 sticks. You know, that's not what this is about. Sometimes it's a good idea just to come out, sit next to a campfire in the middle of nowhere, and this is a fairly remote spot to say the least, and just come and do it because you can, for no other reason other than you can. It's very relaxing, it's good for you. The rest of the world can just go do whatever it wants to do. Yeah. I always say to people, do what you enjoy doing in life. Don't do what other people say, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Or it's not their life, it's your life, you do whatever you want. Yeah. And this to me is as good as it gets. Come and sit out in the middle of nowhere, sausage roll, nice warm campfire. Something that's fairly easy to keep going too. Campfire this size, you can keep this ticking along all day long, and it doesn't use much wood if you do it this way. Sometimes the peace and quiet of the forest is all you need. Yeah. I did get an email this morning from a young lady that wanted to go hiking and what have you, come out to the mountains, but it was 4 o'clock this morning, so if you watch this video, I did send you a reply, but it's it's very early in the morning, that I wasn't sure you'd want to get up at 4 in the morning. So yeah, so if you see this video, I do apologise for waking you up if I did. Yeah. I tend to be up and about early. Right, just going to grab a couple more small pieces. Yep. So I've just collected a few more. It's a small wood like this. These are the low-hanging branches. This stuff burns really fast, so if you get a grass fire come through here, it can run up the trees really fast. So I like to try and remove as much of that as I can. And whilst I'm doing that, anybody that knows me will know the most important thing to bring is a cup of tea. Yeah. So, we'll see if I can get that open, that is. Yeah. So to me, it doesn't get much better than this. It really doesn't. Yeah, sit in the mountains, little campfire, bit of smoke to keep the bugs off. It's not too smoky. Last time I was here, I don't know if you saw my video, March the 2nd it was. I had a campfire here and there was no wind and the smoke was just sitting in the trees and it was really smoky. And a helicopter came over, a fire watch helicopter, and he was literally just probably twice the height of these trees above me. I could actually see him, I could wave to him. Yeah. He was just checking out the smoke, which was good. That's why we have a fire watch. You'll notice I haven't been making many of these campfire videos, and the reason for that is we've had a fire ban on for a couple of months now. Yeah, literally a couple of months. So I haven't been out since, I think the last campfire I did was probably March, maybe I did an Ohuhu one in April, but basically March, yeah. Last time I had a proper campfire. And the reason for that is obviously the fire risk has been extreme. That we've had some torrential rain lately, and we had the G7 summit that closed down a big area of the mountains way off all up over that way. That closed them all off. So yeah, I haven't been out for campfire, so cheers people, thank you for coming along. Yeah. Oh. This is the size fire that you need. You don't need a great big raging inferno. Yeah. You see people making videos, and that's exactly what they do. They just make a video. I do these videos, I bring you guys along for the video, so you can basically see what I do during the day. And the object of today's exercise is to relax around a campfire, nothing else. Not building shelters. I do have everything with me in case it pours over with rain. I have my big tarps with me, and I've got enough food for 2 days, and I've got enough water for 2 days. So I have my fire bucket, I have my other fire bucket over there, my white one. I don't know if that's in shot, but it's just behind the tree there, and it's good 3/4 full. That's a 5-gallon bucket, so there's probably about 4 gallon in there. Plus I filled up this collapsible bucket. These collapsible buckets are something, if you're going out and doing this stuff, a collapsible fire bucket like that is something that you need, because there's enough water in that bucket to put this fire out twice. Literally, I can soak the living hell out of this fire. Yeah. Talking of which, I should put some wood on it. Make sure I don't spill my tea. Lay that down the middle there. Look at that, split that wood and then you have to use a knife. Lay that one through the middle. If you've noticed, what I've done here is, normally if I'm building a fire, anybody that's seen my other videos, you'll see that I build a base so all the logs are close together, and then build a fire on top of those logs like that. That way it keeps it up off the ground. Now if this was winter and there was a lot of moisture in the ground, there's a lot of snow, that's exactly how I do it. But because there's a good layer of carbon under here, if you look at all this carbon from previous campfires, that stuff will still burn. Yeah, this, what I'm doing is I'm chucking chunks of this in here as the fire goes, because although this looks like, if you look at a piece of carbon like that, you look at that and you think, oh, it's burnt, it's useless, it's nothing. I can start a fire with that. If I crush this up into powder, I can make it into a roll and use it in a fire roll. Or if I've got a piece that's dry, this is wet, but if I've got a piece of this that's dry, and I can get a spark to land on that, you can actually blow it back into a flame. It's really amazing stuff. People look at it and they think, oh, it's no good because it's already burnt. It isn't. It's that. You can actually light a fire with that, and I have done in the past. So one day I shall show you how to do that. But that's not what today is about. This, see this? Oh, this smoke. This is magic, pure magic. Yeah, because that means no mosquitoes. Yeah. That's the other reason for having a small, slightly smoky fire. Yeah. Bugs hate it. Yeah. Oh, that's not a bad cup of tea either. Yeah, that's not a bad cup of tea. I know the guy that made it. He's pretty good at making tea. He's been doing it a while. Go round. You've got this entire forest that the smoke can go in, and you want to blow into my face. So, go round. There you go. If you sit too close to a fire, that piece of wood I just put on there is wet, which is why it's smoking. If you sit too close to a fire, it creates a low pressure, and then the smoke always comes towards you. You hear people saying, "No, every time you sit around the campfire, you get a face full of smoke." That's because you're sitting too close to the campfire. Yeah. If I put up my shelter, my bench is usually a little bit further over this way as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is good tea. I was talking to somebody about trail clearing the other day, and they said to me, what saws do I use? Well, I have, in my other videos you'll see I've got the Katana Boy 500, which is great for the bigger trees. Much bigger teeth on the 500, much bigger, and obviously the blades are a bit longer. This is 14 and a half inches, I don't know, something like that, 14 and a half inches. But I can honestly say that for most of what I do, this is what I use. I don't need, really, I mean, I bought the Katana Boy because I had some big trees to cut out, and I bought it as kind of a one-off because I really didn't fancy, because the tree as I was cutting was almost the length of the blade, and that's really hard to cut a tree that's the same length as the blade. And I had to clear this one off the trail because it was in a really awkward place. So I bought the 500 specifically for that one job, and I love it. I mean, it's a fantastic tool. I mean, don't get me wrong, the 500 is an amazing tool, but I use this one more. This is the Big Boy 2000 with a slightly curved blade, and this thing is insane. I couldn't even tell you how much timber, firewood, deadfall, I have no idea how much I've cleared with this over the years. Couldn't even tell you. Had it a long time. It's an amazing tool. Watch your fingers on it though, because I can tell you now, if you catch your hand in there, it'll break for a bad day. Yeah, but it folds up. I made a pouch. Where is it? There, for my belt there. The good friend of mine has a sewing machine, so she lent me her sewing machine, so I made up a pouch for that. So that actually worked out really well. But, I still use it all the time, every day. It's fantastic. But this, for most of what anybody is likely to do in the bush and what have you, this is an amazing tool. You can get the smaller ones. I have a blade about this long. The little Gomboys and the 2000. What's the other one? The Gomboy. There's a Z-bar as well, which has a different handle. There's a whole bunch of Silky mate, loads and loads of them. But I can tell you now, for all the years I've been doing this, and I've been doing this kind of stuff since I was 8. I'm now over 60, only by that much, and I can tell you now, this is by far and away the best saw I've ever owned. So I wish when I was younger that I had this. This would have been a game changer for me when I was younger. Absolute game changer. They weren't around then, but they are now. Yeah. Like I say, this I had. I bought this. I had another knife that I was actually going to use the sheath for. If the knife wasn't any good, I was going to use that. This is made in Ukraine. It's one of those BPS adventurers. It's made in Ukraine. I don't know how they make them for the price that they do and the quality. Yeah, I mean this. I've got a reasonable edge on this. I know I could shave with this if I wanted to. It's an insanely good little knife. It really is. Yeah. I have my usual stuff that will sit on my belt there. I got my Gerber knife on there and all that kind of good stuff. I use the Gerber. The Gerber comes with me most of the time because it just happens to be on my belt. There's no reason why other than that. I mean, it's an incredibly good, strong knife. Where can we make a Rosenscheid? Ha! You can't see it on camera, I suspect, but there was a deer just down through here that just took off. It had obviously come up through the valley. There's a big valley down here. It had obviously just come up through the valley and thought, hey, there's some idiot up there with a campfire. I should go round. So it literally just went off over through here. Yeah. That is actually how I found this spot. I just followed the deer. Yeah. The deer know the best ways through the mountains. It's quite a good idea every now and again to follow them. Yeah. Right. I'm going to stop rabbiting for a bit. I'm going to let that camera have a cool down. And, there's a new GoPro coming out at the end of the year, hopefully. The GoPro 14. And I need some new batteries for that one. And I'm hanging on until the 14 comes out just to see, because apparently it's supposed to be a game changer for GoPro, so I'm going to see. So I do need new batteries, but rather than spending $100 on new batteries, I might as well put that $100 towards a new camera. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to transition a fire. So if you're taking a fire like I had now, I'm just burning it through the middle, just getting rid of some of these small pieces, just burning it through the middle. That'll make a very long lasting fire. Now when you want to bring a fire more to a close and you want to start burning up all the firewood, because I hate leaving firewood in a pile, so the thing to do is to see how hot these logs are and then turn that like that. So now I have one log up on top of another. Now I can put wood underneath that. That'll transition the fire into what I call a burnout fire, where I'm just using it up basically to use up all the wood that I have. and you will see that, see this log here, there's enough heat in there. Wood needs to be about 250 degrees for it to burn. So and it's not actually the wood that burns, it's the gas that burns. It heats it, turns it into gas, and it's the wood gas that burns. That's what you see as flame. It's actually wood gas. So we will do that. I'm going to put some small pieces underneath. Now, if I was planning on making an overnight fire, I could transition a small fire like this into a much bigger fire. You could take the rocks off the front, pile them up the back here. I don't like these wooden reflectors. People call them heat reflectors. They're not heat reflectors. They don't reflect any heat whatsoever. Absolute minimal. But what they do is they keep the smoke down and they dry your next lot of firewood. So as a heat reflector, I hear all this garbage in bushcraft stuff. Well, you've got to build a heat reflector and all the rest of it. That's more done for show than anything else. Because in reality, the amount of heat that it actually radiates back towards you is so minimal, you probably couldn't even measure it. Yeah. However, by doing this, I can now get some good heat underneath this log. And that's the whole idea. I've put some more, see, I've put some more of this smoky stuff on here. This is, what do they call it? Spanish moss, old man's beard, all kinds of weird names this thing has. But I'll tell you what, it makes good smoke. Yeah. And good smoke is really good at keeping the bugs down. So I will put a few pieces of that on there. It's going to be a bit smoky for a while. But bring that round. As you can see, it makes a lot of smoke, that stuff, doesn't it? But I can tell you now, that keeps the mosquitoes off. I don't want too much of it sitting in the trees because I do not want another helicopter visit. The pilot will probably come by and go, there's that bloody guy again. Yeah. But it's once the flames start, if I was to blow that now, you know, I don't even think I can from here, I'm too far away. But once we get a flame in there, you'll be, I don't know if people know what smoke is. Smoke is just incomplete combustion. So if you have a hydrocarbon, any hydrocarbon is extremely unstable, which is why it burns. Yeah. So and as the hydrogen and carbon molecules react with the oxygen, it gives off a lot of heat, and that's how it becomes a self-sustaining fire. That's what fire is. Right? So it just turns hydrocarbons into water and carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, etc. Yeah, that's a little bit too smoky. Let me just give that a puff. There you go. Get some flame in there. And hey presto, smoke's gone. Yeah. I don't want too much smoke sitting in the trees because there is a fire watch not too far away from here. Say not too far, it's 10 kilometres. But if I get buzzed again today, they probably won't be very happy with me. I did send Anastasia an email to apologise. Yeah. However, yeah, it's good that they keep an eye on it all. Much appreciated. Those guys do an amazing job at keeping the forest safe. And that's what this is all about. I mean, people come out here and say, oh, you're having campfires, you're burning wood and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I do. It does reduce the fire load at the bottom of trees. A lot of the deadfall, I'll just see if I can find a picture of what this place looked like when I first came here. It was a lot of deadfall on the ground. I mean, it was a fire waiting to happen, basically. You know, fire would have ripped through here at crazy speed. So over time, I have cleared up a lot of the deadfall. A lot of the ladder fuel around the bottom of the trees has been cleared up. So it does help, one little bit at a time. And the carbon that's in here, see all the wood ash and stuff that's in there, it's absolutely amazing for the forest. See why all the plants and that, they all love to grow around it. They really do, they like all that. So wood ash is actually vitally important for forest health. Smoke as well. If people say, oh, you're putting smoke in the atmosphere, right? Well, I can tell you now, if the atmosphere was completely and utterly clean, it could never rain and it could never snow. If there's no dirt in the atmosphere, we would all die. Everything on the planet would basically die if there's no dirt in the atmosphere, other than stuff that lives in the oceans, and it would probably even have an effect on them. But yeah, you need dirt in the atmosphere. Water can't precipitate out of clean air, so it's as simple as that. Yeah. A lot of people don't realise that, but that is the case. Right, so I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to have another cup of tea because I know that I've got loads more tea in there and I should be drinking it. So I'm going to do exactly that. Another cup of tea it is. Right, always make time for tea. It's the most important thing for coming. The most important reason for coming here. Yeah. Oh, the sun's nice. I just felt a bit of sun come through the trees there. Right. So, 2 o'clock in the forest. Not done this for a while. Yeah, I've missed this, I can tell you. Yeah. Yep. Some people need wildly exciting things to be happening in their lives every day of the week. Every 5 minutes they've got to be doing something. Bungee jumping, skydiving, whatever. If that's what floats your boat, have at it. But to me, sit next to a campfire like this, just enjoying a good cup of tea. Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? It's quiet. It's a good spot. Yeah. I've got numerous places like this all over the mountains that I come to. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a nice spot. Whoa. Yes. Yeah, I might have to put another couple of little bits of wood under there in a moment. Don't get much better than this. Like I say, some people need really exciting stuff happening in their lives all the time. I don't. Yeah. I like to wander around. Some days I do. If you look at my other videos, I do litter picking in Calgary. I wander around picking up litter and what have you. And I take my camera downtown every now and again. On Wednesday, July 2nd, is Canada Day next week. And July 2nd, they're opening up another area downtown in Calgary that has been closed off for a while. They've been redeveloping it. And it looks very nice. I did sneak over. I just snuck a peek over the fence and had a look there the other day with the camera. It actually looks very nice down there. So that's supposed to open on Wednesday. So we shall see. So I like to wander around downtown. Sometimes there's different things. Sometimes it's good just to wander around. And but most of the stuff I like to be out here doing this, middle of nowhere. Yeah. I'm actually getting a little warm. I don't know what the temperature is today, but it's definitely plus something. Yeah, I'm normally out here in minus something. I come out here minus 20, minus 30. I still come out here. But today, it's actually warmed right up. So not cold at all. I don't know what the temperature is, but it ain't cold. Yeah. Right, let's move some of these around. Get some heat under there. Nice. I've had this little pokey stick for ages. That tea was so nice. I'm going to have another one. I know I say this in all my videos, but as a tribute to the great Mors Kochanski, arguably the Yoda of bushcraft and campfires and all the outdoor stuff, he had a saying, and it was the more you know, the less you carry, which I think is an amazing thing, because the amount of stuff that he used to have a 2-litre kettle, and he could get everything in the 2-litre kettle that he needed to survive, which is actually, if anybody thinks that's easy, I can assure you it's not. But he could actually do it. Yeah, and he did. So he has a saying, the more you know, the less you carry. And I have a saying, when it comes to tea, the more tea I drink, the less I have to carry. So a good excuse to drink more tea. Yeah. Not that we Brits drink a lot of tea. I've been in Canada now for, what, 30 odd years I've been here now. Yeah, 30 years now. And I still drink tea continuously. Yeah. This is a slightly different flavour tea. This is it's called biscuit blend. A friend of mine got it for me, and they know I'm a teaholic, so they got me this, and it's called biscuit blend, and it's actually very nice. I am a stickler for I like Earl Grey. Earl Grey is very nice. I do have some very nice Earl Grey at home, and I like the Yorkshire Gold. That's very nice. Not liking this smoke so much. Come on, smoke. Need more flame. There's a little bit of flame in there. Yeah. Just thinking about it. Oh, damn, that's good. Yeah. The good thing is, like, I bring a litre bottle of drinking water with me, obviously fresh water. There is a creek not too far down here. I mean, I can get water out of the creek now. It's actually flowing pretty bloody fast down there, actually. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be flowing. But it's flowing pretty good, so I can get water down there if I want, but then I've got to boil it and treat it and all that kind of stuff. So I always bring water with me, drinkable water. And then when I'm going, I'll have several good mouthfuls of drinkable water, and then I can put some of that on the fire as well, because no sense in carrying it back. Yeah, might as well put it on the fire. Yeah. The only thing you will never see me do, unless it was an absolute emergency, is pour tea on a fire. Yeah. It would have to be a really bad day for me to pour my tea on a fire. Yeah. Right, let's see if I can do something about this smoke. There we go. Bit of flame, smoke's gone. It's lingering in the trees a little bit over there, but there is breeze. I can see it blowing through the trees, so that's good. At least it's dissipating. Yeah. Chuck some more of that carbon on there. But it just shows you that a handful of twigs, and I'm still on the original 2 logs. Yeah. If I'd have built a teepee fire, I would have burnt 4 or 5 times as much as I already have, easily. Yeah. As I said earlier, teepee fire looks great in a video, but in reality, next to useless. Yeah. Okay. There you go. See, still the same 2 logs I started with. None odds there. Yeah. That's how you make a campfire. You don't need to be burning mountains and mountains of firewood. I know some people do, but you don't need to. Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna have a sit down, finish up what's left of my tea, enjoy my campfire, and I'll get back to you in a bit. Well, my campfire is progressing along nicely. The wind has changed. I've noticed it's a little chillier now. Yeah. Not so much of a cloud up that way though, is it? Cloud is coming past the metal. And this, I always have carabiners on everything. I always have carabiners that I can feel the metal in here is cold. Yeah. So I shall probably put my sweatshirt back on. Maybe. What do you reckon? Yeah, let's put that back on. Yes, I can feel the wind has changed. We are supposed to get a change, and it's supposed to rain like crazy this afternoon. So, like I say, that was the other reason for coming out today, because I know I'm going to get a good drenching rain in this location overnight. Although my fires are always absolutely stone cold before I go, and I soak them, stir them, and literally I pour gallons and gallons of water on them. It's always nice to know that there's going to be a torrential rain that night as well. So, you know, if it's in the middle of an absolute heat wave, then firstly I don't need a campfire if it's in the middle of a heat wave, and secondly it's also nice to know that it's going to rain good or snow good. I prefer doing campfires in the snow, because I can just bury the fire in snow and I know it's good and done. But it this time of the year is still good. I mean, it's the trees around here, you still got to be careful. I mean, there's still a lot of dry material out here, and it will burn, trust me, it will burn. But it's nice to know that it's going to rain tonight, so that's good. So I shall put this away for a little while. I'm just going to finish up my tea. I've got about one more cup in there, I think, and then that's probably not too far off it. Right, so the wind is starting to get up, and I don't like having a fire going when the wind's starting to get up. So what I will do is I will put this fire out, soak all this stuff down, put this fire out, and I can save those two little bits of log for next time. Those are the two original logs that I had in there. That just shows you how long this stuff burns for, eh? Yeah. So good reminder to never leave logs. You look at that and you think, oh yeah, I could just leave that, it'll burn itself out. It won't. Those logs could smoulder for hours and hours and hours. Now the wind is getting up, it's a good time to put the fire out. So I'm going to soak it all down, and I'll do some more in a minute. Right, this is how you start to put a campfire out. See, some people just throw a little bit of water on it and they think, oh, it's great. As you can see, that is literally swimming in water. These logs, I can still hear them creaking. So there's still heat in these logs. So the secret is to poke some holes in the ground, let the water into the ground. As I always say, your fire, you made it, make sure it's out. So I'll let that sit for probably 10 minutes or so. See, a lot of people, they put a fire out and they're impatient, they just want to get going, and they just throw a bit of water on it and then hope for the best. Hoping for the best is quite often how you start a forest fire. Just listen. Hear the creaking? That means there's still heat in those pieces of wood. Even though I've literally just poured a half a bucket, my collapsible bucket, on there, and some of my drinking water, you still hear it. So there's still heat in that wood. That's why I like to try and burn all the wood away. I'm trying to see if there's any steam. I just think I saw a little bit there. So soak it all down. I'm going to let that sit for probably about another 10 minutes or so, and then I've got another, I can put about twice as much of that water on there as I just put on there, so that's good. So I like the collapsible buckets. These things I've still got, oh god, there's probably still about 4 or 5 inches of water in the bottom of there, so that's good. Yeah. But this is what you do with a campfire. Normally I like to burn the logs up completely, but I will be back out here again not too long from now, I suspect, and then I can finish burning those up. So those are the 2 logs that I started with, and I've been out here for a couple of hours, and as you can see, they're still good. Yeah, once they cool off a bit, I'm just going to break all the carbon and that off of these, and then soak it down some more. Right, let me do that and I'll get back to you. So what I've done here is I've cut all the carbon off of the wood all the way down to decent wood. I've just poured another couple of gallons of water on there, soaked it all up, stirred it all up, and she is good and soaked. It's like a swamp, look at that. And that is how a campfire should be left. Right, so the other thing you'll notice is I like my fire in the middle of the campfire ring, not up against the rocks. I see some people build a rock ring and they have the fire, literally the logs sitting on the rocks. Well, the embers can get in amongst those rocks and you can't see them, and they'll sit in there smouldering away for hours and hours and hours, until you know that a gust of wind will come along and blow one of them out straight into the dry grass that's around the fire. So I always like my fire in the middle of the fire. The bit around the outside, as you can see, there's still green plants there. None of those even got scorched. there's green plants actually in the fire ring, as you can see. None of those even got scorched. So that's how you do it. Light it in there. There's always a good 6 to 8 inches of material, open material all around the fire, and that's how you should leave a campfire. Well and truly out and soaked, stirred, and soak it again just because I'm paranoid. Yeah, right. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you on the next one.